Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday preview. Codex Space Marines slams into action. Let's not beat around the bush. The new Codex Space Marines is on the way, and you'll be able to place your pre-order in just 6 days' time. It's going to be a busy week here in Warhammer community, so here's what's coming up between now and then. Note that the Space Marine releases will be on a 2-week pre-order period. This means they will be released on the 14th of October, so you have plenty of time to complete your armoring ritual before deployment. Shall we have a look at the good stuff? So there is a little video here, but we're going to take a look at the full article. Definitely worth note, though, that it is a 2-week pre-order period. So interesting decision. Typically, we will see the 2-week pre-order period when Games Workshop wants to capture as much of those sales as possible before releasing out all of their extra stock to the independent retailers, when they're expecting very high demand but have a limited quantity available. Tyranids are running rampant across the galaxy, but the Space Marines are ready to fight back. The new Codex is packed with datasheets, detachment rules, background lore, beautiful miniature showcase, and crusade content aplenty. This huge 216-page book contains 7 complete detachments with a wide variety of abilities and playstyles. Any Space Marine army can use these rules, including divergent chapters like the Space Wolves and Blood Angels. Want to see what happens when the Black Templars try being sneaky for once in a Vanguard Spearhead? Now you can. Of course, if you're one of the first company veterans, a regular Codex just won't do. That's why there's a luxury special edition featuring unique cover art, foiled details, and fetching gilt page edges. This is strictly limited to just a few thousand copies. So interesting of them to specifically say it is limited, but then say a few thousand copies. So a few is typically 3 to 5. So if they made 3,000 to 5,000 copies of the limited edition Space Marine Codex, they'll be giving these things away in a couple weeks. So obviously that is not a true statement, at least not in the literal sense. Very cool cover, awesome librarian on the front there. Sweet piece of art. Definitely a big fan of this. Captain with Jump Pack. Space Marine captains aren't just strategic masterminds. They're also indomitable warriors in their own right, and many prefer to smash straight into enemy ranks strapped to a jump pack. The new kit gives you the option to send your eager leader flying in close combat with several different weapon choices, as well as both helmeted and unhelmeted head options. So definitely a fan of this model here. Nice pose, nice options. Chaplain in Terminator armor. Deliver sermons on the front lines safely with the latest in personal priesthood protection. The Chaplain in Terminator armor. The walking behemoth of righteous fury is all but immovable on the battlefield, and that's before he straps on his optional relic shield. He can even choose between 2 variants of Crozius Arcanum. So nice. Once again, we have some nice options. I like this Chaplain. Obviously, we don't really have an available Chaplain in Terminator armor at the time, so this is definitely going to be a step up. The previous 2 were pretty cool, but I think between the size and the kind of like simplicity of this guy, he's going to look real nice painted up in different chapters. I do like also that they offer the relic shield, so if you want that extra wound in lieu of shooting, definitely nice. Next, we have the Company Heroes. Captains and chapter masters are often accompanied by some of the finest heroes in their chapter as a personal bodyguard. The squad's ancient carries a fluttering company banner to inspire his comrades and boost their objective control, while the company champion duels enemy leaders before they can even think of getting near the captain. The veterans, meanwhile, lay down a hail of bolt fire. This kit also includes a versatile captain with multiple options. So this is pretty cool. I like that the captain comes in the command squad, and then alternatively, you could put the command squad with a different character if you wanted. But we do know this set's going to be pricey because a captain on his own is like 40 bucks. So add on the retinue, and this is going to be an expensive kit. Definitely some absolutely beautiful sculpts. Big fan of these. I love some of these poses specifically, and just the overall aesthetic here. This is a massive upgrade from the old set. And then we have our Terminators. The bulked up Terminators first seen in the Leviathan box set are back with a full multi-part plastic kit, including classic weapons like the Heavy Flamer and Cyclone Missile Launcher. These 5 plastic Terminators are packed with options, including a wide range of heads and chain fists for all who want them, in case you're up against a legion of stubborn vehicles and fortifications. So nice looking models right here. I'm a huge fan of the new Leviathan Terminators, and this is the multi-part kit. So it's going to give you all of your extra heavy weapon options. And then I think the most important thing for me is the chain fist. There's no additional cost in game terms, obviously, for most of your equipment. So getting the chain fist for free and having the anti-vehicle 3 up is really nice, as normally the Terminators would be wounding like big boy vehicles like Knights on a 5. So being able to wound them on a 3 is massive, and they don't give up much to get it. All right, and the next we have the Jump Pack Intercessors. Take to the skies and deliver hot, fresh chainsword death at an indeterminate speed with a band of assault intercessors equipped with the latest in jump pack technology. These 5 multi-part plastic assault troops cause massive damage with the weight of their charge alone, while the sergeant has the option for a hand flamer, plasma pistol, power sword, power fist in place of his regular equipment. So nice looking models right here. They are a little bit strange, some of the poses, but I think a lot of it is actually just weird kind of camera angles. I do like the dynamic overall look of them, but the idea that each one just like lands perfectly and then like steps on a single rock as they like begin their ascent or descent is maybe a little bit played out when you have 5 models all doing basically the same thing. But I do like these models. I think they are a very important part of the full-on switch to Primaris, as it's very important to have some actual jump infantry with some combat capabilities. So very cool models and long awaited for sure. And next we have the Sternguard Veterans. Space Marines with many years of service are organized into Sternguard Veteran squads, who wield finely tuned bolt guns and combi weapons. The new multi-part plastic kit builds 5 veterans with your choice of Sternguard bolt guns or combi weapons, and includes a brand new Pyre Cannon heavy weapon as a heavy weapons option. Yes, that is a back banner. So really cool. Obviously, the new Sternguard are really nice models from Leviathan again, and then this is going to give you the multi-part kit. So we have the new addition of the heavy weapon, the Pyre Cannon, and then also the cool back banner coming back from the old school days. I think the most important part about this kit here is, like with the Leviathan set, we have like a combination of basically like their special bolt rifles and then also the combi weapons. So with this set, you're going to get at least 5 combi weapons, so you could potentially equip all your models with that combi weapon. As opposed to with like Leviathan, it's like every other model. So even though your whole squad is equipped the same in game terms, the models technically aren't what you see is what you get. It's not really like a big deal, obviously, but I do like to have the actual weapons on my guys. Especially if I'm going to actually paint them up. I want them to look nice and have the right equipment. All right, and then next we have a Lieutenant. The leader of Strike Force Augustus gets a standalone release, ready to join your Space Marine squads and grant the powerful lethal hits ability to all their weapons. This intensely customizable kit can be equipped in many different ways, from the classic Power Fist and Plasma Pistol combo to power swords, bolt rifles, and the dreaded pointing finger. So lots of options right here. Definitely a nice looking model. And if you need those lethal hits, because you're not going to be re-rolling wounds with your Marines anymore, maybe it's time to start dropping some Lieutenants in your army. And then we have the Brutalis Dreadnought. The best place for a gigantic walking death machine is right in the middle of an army. And the Brutalis Dreadnought is equipped to take full advantage of the sheer everything shredding power of his mighty fists and talons. Gone are the heavy guns of the Redemptor or the missiles of the Ballistus. This Dreadnought is squarely into the business of tearing things apart in close combat, and business is booming. So that's sort of true, but it also has like twin length multi-meltas, which are kind of a big deal. I mean, it's only 2 shots, but it's potentially going to be melting something. But obviously the claws are the way to go. This thing is an absolute beast. Does a bunch of mortal wounds on the charge, still has good guns up close where it wants to be. And then, of course, it is just ripping things apart with those claws. So very, very nice model. Very, very good in game terms, and definitely happy to see this guy hitting the table officially. All right, and then we have the Desolation Squad. While your Brutalis Dreadnought is having the time of their life in melee combat, some long-range fire support is just a ticket to keep it from being overwhelmed. The Desolation Squad is the final word in man-portable missile-flinging firepower, able to lay down a barrage of highly explosive and impressive range while sitting squarely behind the safety of some good cover. They even have a choice between Super Frag and Super Crack missiles, so you can pick whatever's best against the unfortunate subject of your ire. So obviously no one will ever buy these. Most people didn't like the look of them. I actually really think they're cool. They remind me of Fifth Element, so maybe like there's a little nostalgia there. But they were also really good in game terms as well, and now they are just ridiculously pointed. They basically saw like a quadruple nerf in the recent changes that Games Workshop made to the game. So they saw the points go up, the squad size cut in half, so now buffing them is not nearly as useful. Lost the Oath of Moment wound rerolls, and then of course the stratagem nerf as well. So while these guys are cool and they still are punchy, at 200 points for 5, it is absolutely insane to include these in your army. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. And then we have the Combat Patrol Space Marines. Take an elite, flexible force into Combat Patrol and kickstart your Space Marine collection with this fine assemblage of powerful heroes. 5 Terminators, 5 Infernus Marines, a Terminator Captain, and a Terminator Librarian, who you may have seen grinding up some Tyranids in the Leviathan box set earlier this year. Put out the damage of many more men and are tough as nails to boot. So nice little Combat Patrol right here. Obviously, you're way better off picking up Leviathan, as this is going to be priced at $160. Alternatively, you could buy the big starter set as well. That thing's just over $200 and you get the Tyranid Combat Patrol as well as a bunch of cover. There's a lot of ways to get this stuff way cheaper. So please, under no circumstances whatsoever, should you buy the Space Marine or Tyranid Combat Patrol without exploring your other options first. Add some handy accessories to your army with a set of 99 reference cards, featuring every Space Marine datasheet, separate Combat Patrol cards, and an armory reference. And a pack of 16 pearlescent blue plastic dice with metallic silver pips and an action logo of the Adeptus Astartes on the 6. The cards have gold gilt edges as befits the mightiest warriors as mankind. So it is worth note here, there are 99 reference cards featuring every Space Marine datasheet. So that is a lot less data sheets. So there is definitely some stuff going away. We know like scouts and some of the land speeders and all that stuff are going, but there may be some other things as well. I would imagine the command squad, because we have the new one. So we'll have to see. And then we do have a 16 pack of dice. So they are the cool pearlescent dice. Definitely a big fan of those like kind of swirl ones. Nice pip, simple, good color, good visibility, but only 16 in the set instead of the 20 like we have always gotten. So definitely some shrinkflation in full effect here. And then we see the chapter-approved Leviathan mission deck. This pack of cards is essential companion for playing match play games of Warhammer 40,000. First available in the Leviathan box set, now coming to shelves separately. Drawing cards from each deck allows you to quickly construct an exciting mission and execute gambits to bring trailing players back into the game. So these were released once already and there was a huge debacle, so Games Workshop had to recall all of them, destroy them, and make new ones. So if you missed out on your Leviathan mission deck, here's your chance to pick it up once again. And from forgeworlds, we have a Space Wolf Legion Praetor, Space Wolf Mark 6 heads. And then from Black Library, we have the Genefather. And then also the Genefather Limited Edition, Wrath of the Lost. So very cool. Definitely a big week for Space Marines, or should I say 2 weeks. Keep in mind this is a 2-week pre-order period. Definitely excited to get a hold of the Codex and hopefully calm down some of the changes to the Space Marines so I don't have to nonstop start binning models and then repainting new stuff as they constantly change. But keep in mind that typically when an army gets its Codex early in the edition, that is the strongest the army will ever be. So it's pretty much all downhill from there. So if you're a Tyranid player or a Space Marine player, enjoy these early days while you have them, because if Games Workshop stays true to the previous editions, power creep will slowly have them underperforming the newer codexes as they arrive. So let me know what you're most excited about. Are you going to be picking up the special edition stuff? Are you just grabbing up a bunch of the new plastic Marines? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15% on Games Workshop. Link in the description. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and Games Workshop is serving up some Angels of Death. And I'm out of here.